Hi, I'm Kevin. Welcome to my kitchen. Today I'd like to show you how to make challah. Challah is a rich and delicious egg bread that is typically served during the Jewish Sabbath, but it's delicious anytime. The dough is really easy to work with. I made challah yesterday and braided some of it to make a loaf like this. And I also baked some of the dough in loaf pans and came up with challah bread like this. And challah, by the way, makes the very best French toast. It's also delicious for just plain eating, or for sandwiches, or for toasting and topping with strawberry jam or raspberry jam. It's really good stuff. Here's the recipe. Now, you can mix and knead the dough entirely by hand, just as I did yesterday, or you can mix and knead via machine, as I'm going to do today. So what I have here is 1 1/3 cups of warm water and 1 tablespoon of active dry yeast. Sprinkle that over the water. Then add 1/3 cup of regular granulated sugar. Give it a whisk. Then whisk in 3 tablespoons of some good quality olive oil and 1 tablespoon of kosher salt, and it must be kosher salt. Whisk. And then whisk in 3 large beaten eggs. All right. Let me clear the decks. Bang around some pots and pans. Now, about the flour. If you're using bread flour, use 5 cups of it. If you're using all-purpose flour, you may need to use 5 1/2 or even 6 cups. So I've got 5 cups here. Just going to pour that right in. And then going to hook the machine, or rather hook the bowl up to my mixer. Move you in here so you can see. Zoom. And the mixer is outfitted with the dough hook. And I'm going to mix this for about 5 minutes, but after a couple of minutes I will check to see what the dough looks like and determine whether it needs the extra flour. I'm just doing this at low speed, so I'll come back in a couple of minutes. All right, this has been mixing and kneading for about 3 minutes, so let's have a look. And I can already tell the dough is too soupy, so I'm going to cast caution to the wind and add a whole other cup of all-purpose flour. And then just mix this in at low speed. Yeah, you want the dough to be more or less like a bread dough. In other words, you should be able to work with it. You don't want to have a big sticky mess to deal with. Okay, I'm going to boost this up 1 notch. And then I will let the dough, I will knead the dough for about 5 minutes, and then I will give it a 2-minute rest. In other words, I'll turn off the machine for 2 minutes, and then I will continue kneading for another 3 or 4 minutes. We'll be back. Now, if you're wondering why you would use extra all-purpose flour, as opposed to bread flour. It all has to do with protein content. Bread flour has more protein and it's able to absorb more liquid than all-purpose flour. So let's have a look at this dough. Put my glasses on so I can see. Looking pretty good. Let's check it. Yep. So the dough should be a little sticky or a little tacky, but not terribly tacky. And here it is. It's just falling off the dough hook. I'll help it along. Off you go. Yeah, oh, we're still pretty sticky here. But I think we're good enough. So then we need to put this dough into a greased mixing bowl. And for this, I'm going to use my wooden spatula. Actually, before I put it in the bowl, I'm going to form the dough into a ball. And again, just have a look at your dough. If it's smooth and elastic and not too sticky, you'll know that it's just where it should be. And if it looks like it needs more flour, then go ahead and add some more flour. Just add a little at a time. Okay. Now, where's my bench scraper? Are you in the dishwasher? Yes, you are. It was hiding in the dishwasher. So we're going to pick this up. Form it into a ball. Oh, it's pretty sticky. And then smooth side down, flip to grease the other side, and then cover it with a sheet of cling film, aka plastic wrap. And then put this in a warm location until the dough doubles in volume. And that will take 90 minutes to 2 hours. So we'll be back. All right, the bread has completed its first rise. And it does require 3 rises. So here's what you do. Remove the cling film and then punch down the dough to deflate it. And then, pick it up. Oh, this is a beautiful dough. Pick it up, and once again, form it into a ball. This, and to make the ball, you just tuck the sides underneath, like this, and then put it back in the bowl. No need to flip it this time. Cover it and let it rise until double. But this time, the rise will take only about an hour. So I'll come back when this is ready. Okay, that second rise only took 45 minutes. Here's the dough. Looking very attractive. Now here's the fun part. We're going to braid this. So deflate as before. And then turn the dough onto your work surface. And I'm not going to add any flour because I don't think this dough will need it. And then pat it out and form it into a rough rectangle. I might have to add a tiny bit of flour. We'll see. And where's my bench scraper? going to cut this dough in half and return 1/2 to the mixing bowl. Here it is. And then, yeah, I'm going to add a little flour. Hang on. Don't go away. Just a tiny bit. Yeah, really sticky here. Then I have to cut this into 4 equal segments. So I'm going to cut it in half and then into quarters. Boy, we are really sticky here, and I blame the humidity. Let me move this so you can see a little better. Yeah, as I mentioned, it's been pouring rain here. And today is May 1st, but it still feels like, almost like March. Okay, and then going to form each of these 4 segments into a 15-inch long rope. Get a little flour over here. You just take your hands and roll the segment back and forth until you have a 15-inch rope. There we go. There's one down. Add a little more flour here, not too much. Do the same with the next strand. Actually, I'll move you over here. And now I had too much flour on my board, so this isn't going to cooperate. But I'm the boss, so I'll just force it to cooperate. So we've got 2 done. Here's number 3. Yeah, you want a little bit of friction on your board, so don't overflour it. Here's 3. And finally, the last rope. Yeah, these ropes can be anywhere from 12 to 15 inches. Just don't make them longer than your baking sheet. And by the way, line your baking sheet with parchment paper, or if you've run out of parchment paper, as I have, just grease it. I greased mine with Crisco. Crisco is kosher, right? Okay. So now we have our ropes here. I'm going to turn my board this way so you can see a little better. I'm going to rearrange everything. So you want to arrange the ropes so they are parallel to each other. And then gather the tops and pinch them together like this. I'm going to move the camera so you get an overhead view. Hold on. Okay, now while repeating the mantra over, under, over, you take the strand farthest to the right and go over the second strand, under the third strand, and over the fourth strand. Okay? And then you can repeat, taking the second strand now, over, under, over. Can you see all right? Looks like a monster, doesn't it? Next strand, over, under, over. Next one, over, under, over. Keep going. Over, under, over. And now we've come to the end. Pinch. And then transfer the braid to the baking sheet. And I'm going to do 2 of these, so I want to make sure that I have room for both, and I do. And I don't think you need to watch me do the second braid, so I'll turn off the camera and come back when it's complete. Over, under, over, over, under, over. You can do one more. Over, under, over. Pinch. And then onto, I'll turn it this way, onto the baking sheet it goes. There. Looks pretty good. And then this bread is going to get an egg wash. So I have 1 large egg beaten, and it's only egg. I did not add water or milk or cream. And after I've finished brushing on the egg wash, I'm going to cover these braids and let them rise until doubled in volume, which will only take about 30 minutes. And then I'm going to bake them off. Actually, before I bake them off, I'm going to give them a second, hold on, that's my timer. Before I bake them off, I'm going to give them a second coating of egg. That way they will have that very dark, very sexy bronze sheen. I might even top them with sesame seeds or poppy seeds. We shall see. Okay, I'm going to cover these and let them double in volume, and then I'll come back. Oh, and because we don't want the plastic wrap or cling film to stick to the dough as the dough rises, spray the wrap with vegetable spray. And just cover loosely. See you in a bit. Oh, also, center the oven rack and preheat the oven to 375 degrees Fahrenheit. All right. That only took 30 minutes for this final rise. And now it's time to give the braids another brushing with the egg. You want to brush rather gently because you don't want to deflate the dough. And while the bread was rising, I went on a mad search for poppy seeds. I know I have them somewhere, but where, I do not know. But I have sesame seeds, so I can use those. And of course, you don't have to put any seeds at all on your challah. Just be very patient while you're brushing. And by the way, thank you so much for watching my videos. I know they tend to be kind of lengthy. Well, they are lengthy because I like spending time with you. Okay, good. Now I have my sesame seeds. And on they go, sprinkled from on high for dramatic effect. I think I need a few more. Okay, that looks good. And then these go into the preheated 375-degree oven until they are brown and beautiful. That will take about 35 minutes. See you then. And this baked for only 30 minutes. Hear the tap? That's how you know the bread is done. And I'm going to let this bread cool to room temperature before cutting into it. Not to worry, I have some of the challah I made yesterday. So let's have a little taste of it. Okay, here's yesterday's braid. Actually had two of them. Let me show you what's left from the second braid. Did I mention that I love challah? And let's see, we have some butter handy and some raspberry jam. Let's see. Now you can pull the braid apart with your fingers if you like, or just slice it. Look at this. It's nice and fluffy, just as challah should be. A little bit of butter, a little bit of homemade jam. Did you know that I am the heir to the Trappist family fortune? Okay, a little taste. Yum. It's soft, fluffy, eggy, and although it had 1/3 cup of sugar in the, sorry about the hand, in the dough, it's really not sweet. Which is why you can get away with adding raspberry jam. And now, let me show you the loaf. Because you don't have to braid challah. You can bake it in 2 8-inch bread pans. Just be sure to grease them well. Let's cut into this. Slices very well. Have a look. Another slice. And again, you could use this bread for sandwiches. And as I mentioned earlier, it makes the best French toast in the world. No wonder, because it has 3 eggs in the dough. A little butter. I love how soft the bread is. Just delicious. And by the way, I was kidding. I am not the heir to the Trappist jam fortune. Or any fortune for that matter. I will put the list of ingredients in the description box below. And in a few days, I will post the printable recipe over on my website, kevinleejacobs.com. So thank you for spending time with me today, and I hope you leave a comment below because I do love hearing from you. And I'll see you next time with another delicious recipe. Bye for now. Okay, I'm back. I'm about to commit a grave sin. This bread is still very warm from the oven, but I cannot resist tearing off a piece and giving it a try. Look at that texture. Just beautiful. And where'd my knife go? Here it is. A little butter. Oh, there's nothing like fresh bread with soft butter. You have to try this, okay? So good. I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.